Okay, England have overcome Argentina 1-0 in a defence versus attack kind of game where Argentina were defending for 90 minutes and England were pretty much attacking for 90 minutes. Argentina had a few forays upfield, but not enough threat going forward. And Jody Taylor's goal in 62 minutes is a very well worked counter-attack goal. But the fact it took 62 minutes and a missed penalty. Yeah, there was a penalty saved by Correa, the Argentine goalkeeper, in there in 28 minutes from Nikita Paris. The fact it took that long shows that England were getting frustrated. They could have allowed that frustration to overboil and then give way, and they didn't. They managed to keep their emotions in check because there was a period of time where they were getting every pass that was being misplaced, every time Correa saved a shot, every time they missed the goal, they were getting frustrated. Every time the call didn't go their way, they were getting frustrated. And the risk was that this was playing into Argentina's hands, where England were getting frustrated. Much like Japan didn't do enough with the ball, England was starting to not do enough with the ball. Then the goal comes, and there is a definite relief on the team. The fact that England have qualified for the next round, I think Phil Neville, as the coach, has stated that his initial goal, was to get out of the group unscathed. Now, they've only got 2 out of the 3 games done. You know, they could still lose against Japan and not be top of the group. The ultimate goal is to top the group. That's the best way to ensure your easiest route to the final is to win every game. That makes life a hell of a lot easier than dropping points in the group stage or going to penalties and extra time in the knockout phase. The VAR was used again, and that is becoming an ongoing talking point, is the use of VAR. And I'll do a video on VAR and how it is FIFA and the various leagues around the world implementing it correctly and using it correctly and getting the best out of it. It didn't affect the outcome of the game today, thankfully. It's not a major talking point, but it was used in midway through the second half. There was use of VAR for a potential penalty. And that was before England scored their goal, and that could have had an outcome on the game, changed it. But it didn't. Argentina, they can take a lot from these 2 games they played. They've only conceded 1 goal. They've been in both games. They've been physically in it. They have defended pretty stoutly. What they need to improve on is their attack going forward. But you've got to consider that they haven't qualified for a World Cup since 2007, and their federation pretty much stopped funding the women's game in Argentina for about 3.5 years. So there have been issues off the field with the federation with finances. So for them to actually get to the World Cup in itself, much like Chile getting to the World Cup, where their federation also stopped funding them for a couple of years, is a big thing. This wouldn't happen in the men's game where a federation stops funding its men's national side. It wouldn't happen. In the women's game, it is seen as acceptable to stop funding your national side so they lose their world ranking and cease to have a team. Argentina have a long way to go to compete with the world's best teams in the women's game. They're getting there. On the England side of things, they need to improve, obviously, but winning 2 games while not playing well is a sign of actually a good side. If you can win playing ugly and not playing at your potential. They played better in this game, ironically. The scoreline may not suggest that. They did actually play better. If it wasn't for the goalkeeper, it could have been a 4-5-6-0 scoreline. I think England can learn a lot more from this game by winning 1-0 than if they had won 4 or 5-0. I actually think you can learn more from a game like this where you are forced to grind out a win rather than breezing through an opposition like the US did against Thailand. And the big debate about that and did they over-celebrate and, all that kind of stuff is out there. England weren't bad, they weren't great. They were decent, and I think that's a building block for the game against Japan, and it's a building block going forward. Now that they are through to the next round, they can experiment with new formations, new players, getting players into form, getting some players some match fitness, and resting some players. So players like Fran Kirby, who are a bit low on confidence, change their positioning a little bit, make fiddles, play with the combinations with other attacking players. That is an option open to Phil Neville, but I think Phil Neville will be very happy that they're out of the group and they qualified. It's all about how they play the next game, and there is room for improvement, but they can learn from a lot from that. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you very soon.